Tonight's episode is sponsored by Chocolate's Call Out Challenge. This month's victim is someone I've been desperate to call out. 10,000 Fists. Your name is ridiculous, just like your shoe size and your 5'1" frame. Pick a game. Let's fight. And I will bash you into the Netherlands.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 56 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host Risky the Kid, and joining me this week are my co-hosts Chocolate Bear.
How you doing, folks? You right?
Moose.
Hey, friends.
And joining us for the first time, you've heard his name, the man, the myth, the FPS legend, DANPOD.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on, Dan? How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Not too much.
You're also my hero, Dan.
It's everyone's
Moose.
hero, Moose.
Sorry, but he's mostly mine.
All right, first, let's talk about the community play that happened this past Friday. It was a small turnout because a lot of us were busy, but Moose, you were there. Sweeney was there. Chaotic was there. And the real Jedi Master was there. How'd that go?
That's right. Well, first of all, it started out with just me and Sweeney, and Sweeney had never played the game. He literally was creating his character when I invited him to a party. So he had no idea what to do. So first we tried the PvP mode, and I think I'd played that one time with you, maybe.
Yeah.
And I'm not a good guide for that. So we died a lot in that in the first round and lost 2-0. And then I was like, you just want to play the campaign and, just kill bad guys? He's like, that sounds good. So then we coaxed Chaotic to come on over from Borderlands, miraculously.
I would say, how did you manage that?
I don't know. I think Sweeney promised him some things, but I was not privy to the deal. So, but he jumped over, and then it was the three of us for a while, and then a buddy of theirs jumped in, Jedi, and the four of us played through, and we basically went go loud mode the whole time. There was really no covert operations done. Literally dropped the helicopter on the roof and bang, bang,
So you're saying
boom,
you were
boom.
not ghosts? Is that
No,
what you're
we
saying?
were not ghosts at all.
Not even close.
Actually, there was one mission that I actually had to leave because my family got home. It was dinner time and all that stuff. But we had to run it like 3 or 4 times in a row because we kept getting seen or somebody kept, doing something, and you had to be covert on that mission. So we kept failing because we had to go steal a helicopter or something, and it'd never fail. Somebody would get impatient or something would happen and we would get seen, because the mission after you steal a helicopter, you've got to fly through this valley for like a good 4 or 5 minutes before you pass it. So 2 of them, I think it was Chaotic and Sweeney were on the helicopter, and me and Jedi were back. And, I'm not going to sit around for 5 minutes. So I think I was the person that got us picked off one of the times. But at that point, I had to get off, and I'm not sure if they stayed on and played more or they all shut it down also. But it was a good time.
When somebody goes loud, can you tell who's the one that screwed up?
I don't think so.
Is there any indication, like, someone's been seen or something like that?
I don't think. It says, I believe it just says you've been...
So it's like a group thing, not...
Yeah, exactly. It just
you
says
can't call your
mission
friends
failed.
out?
You've been detected. I think that's what it says. Yeah. Yeah, you can't call somebody out.
They went the friendship saving route where they.
But there was definitely a couple. When Jedi first joined, he threw an accidental grenade, and then I accidentally threw a grenade while I was in my menu one time too. So
accidental grenades are the best, especially when you play a bunch of these games and the grenade button's on a different button for every game. You're like, man, I was just trying to open my inventory and I whipped a grenade.
Exactly. I was trying to find the wheel weapon or the weapon wheel, and there's not one in that game, so don't look for that. But it was a good time, and that brought up the time that we all played Siege. I think it might have been the first community play that CAG ever had, and I ended up fragging my whole team as we were rappelling down ropes. Dan, I think you were there, right?
Yes, I was there. And that's
Sounds too
exactly how
familiar.
that happened.
So yeah, I'm a good teammate.
No, Chaotix
God.
just said that it does mention who got spotted.
Oh, does it? Good.
Was it me most of the time?
So it straight up calls him out. Perfect.
yeah, chaotic. Let me know who was it most of the time here.
Moose just wanted to say it's definitely a team thing because he didn't want anyone to know that he was the one that screwed this whole night up. That's really funny.
It could have been. I'm sure they
so-
passed that mission immediately after I jumped off.
Yeah, right. What did you guys all set your difficulties? Because I can people set the difficulties differently, or is everybody kind of locked into the same thing? Like if everybody's
have
on hard
no
mode, is it just
idea.
hard mode for everybody? I don't remember.
I think it goes to the highest common denominator.
Okay,
so
that's
if
what I
three
thought.
of your squad are trying to play on recruit and one dude has it on expert, you're all gonna play on expert.
Okay.
Good. Force everybody
So it's
to play
like
ghost
whatever
mode.
it's
It seemed like it was pretty easy, so we must have been playing on normal mode, I think.
Nice. Well, shout out to those guys for showing up.
I think the game is
You think the game is what? Great.
I think the game is definitely best when it's played with people that you know, like played with friends.
Right.
It's really, I think, like all of those games are just so much more fun when you can hop in, even if it's with just a buddy. Like me and Risky played quite a bit of that. Just with two players is still super fun, where you're just like slurking around a base and picking people off and getting as far as you can until it goes sideways and then trying to shoot your way back out. Like,
But weren't we playing it on the hardest difficulty too? So it's like once it went loud, you were kind of screwed
All the
no matter
time.
what. So
Yeah.
I
there
think
was, go ahead.
I think the AI in the game is kind of, I don't think it's good enough to play it on such a hard difficulty. I think the game is most fun kind of in the middle, like either on like the middle two difficulties are the best, because I mean, there's no reason that a dude that's dual wielding Mac 10s should one shot me in the face from 400 yards away. Like, it just doesn't. They make the enemy such glass cannons that it's just not
Right.
fun. But it's when you play like arcade with your friends, it's like literally like playing a video game. Or it's like playing a Michael Bay movie, basically, where you just
Yeah,
roll up
all
and
the
everybody's shooting out of the
explosions.
side of the chopper, and then there's explosions, and
We
it's just so
found
fun.
an armored vehicle with the chain gun on top,
Yes.
and we literally just drove it into the middle of every mission, and I just went 360 degrees blowing stuff up. I was just giggling. It was so much
straight
fun.
out of a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah,
That's-
and then like you said, it's so much fun with a party of people you know, because
Yeah.
all those guys you know from across the pond, and I don't understand them the greatest. And I think it's like two Scottish
Team
guys.
communication is
and
not important.
And an English guy that I can't understand his accent anyways. And they all started arguing with each other, and I was like, I have no idea what any of you are saying, but you don't sound happy about it.
I can't
The
pick a side
accents are-
here.
The accents are pretty thick in Liverpool and up in Scotland. So
Right.
We're
But
just
it was
glad
a
we
good
chose one
time.
that we could understand. Chocolate. That's all we were really trying to do.
And I believe that game's still on sale for $15, so if you don't have
Damn.
it, you should get it.
Yeah, especially if you want to clear through it before,
Yeah, the new one comes
Breakpoint.
out. What is it, October?
which I still
Yeah,
have to.
there's-
do.
November? One of the two.
There's so much content in that game right now.
Right.
Like when it launched, it needed some stuff, but now, like with the PvP mode, that's pretty fun if you have a team that knows what they're doing.
That's
And
super good. I was
the
gonna
single
say
player is
Moose,
fun
you
enough
should
on its own.
right, and definitely try to play that. Like, don't give up on. Is that called Ghost Mode or Ghost
It's called
Ghost War.
Ghost War?
Ghost War, yeah.
Okay.
Everything is named like basically the
something.
same thing, which makes
Right.
it super difficult to remember anything.
Right. Yeah, definitely don't give up on that though. Like, just play with Dan and I at some point. I think that'd
Right.
be, if you have a good team of 4, that can be a ton of fun. It always reminded me of like the final battle in a battle royale mode, kind of. Just kind of like, well, there's one team left because it's kind of you get downed, you're dead. Well,
Right.
they can pick you up, but doesn't it come to a point where you can't be revived, or the revive like triples in time or something?
There were no revives as far as I was concerned.
Revives they do sometimes they do like event modes, which are like limited time event modes, so it may be like a no revive mode that you play
Yeah.
in.
What we
But
were playing
in-
was like one shot and you were dead.
Yeah. So I think that's called high risk. But like they do it so you vote during the week. So like during the week you'll vote for what the event mode on the weekend is going to be.
I
And
gotcha.
then when the weekend rolls around, you can play in the playlist. It's the event mode,
Oh,
and
that's
you
super
get
smart.
extra prestige credits for doing that if you win. Or you can just play regular. And in
Right.
regular, you can do unlimited revives, which I think that's what makes that mode so unique in that game, is that at any point in time, you can turn the tables if you can get your squad mates up, and the other,
Right.
you could turn
Get
a
them pinned
1v4 into, a 4v2 if you can get your squad mates back up and kill a couple of them in the process.
And if you're
And
playing
so
as the
it's-
dude who has the medic
it's
drone
fun.
that can fly over and res people,
Right.
I love that class.
It might be cheating, but that's okay.
Nah, it's fine. All right, good deal. Well, Dan, I know you've been playing some of the permadeath mode. That's another Is that called ghost mode?
So
Or
that
something
one
like
is
that?
ghost mode,
Okay.
not
Of
to be
course it
confused
is.
with Ghost War, which is the multiplayer mode.
So how's that?
Yeah, how much pucker factor you get definitely depends on what difficulty you play on. So, like, the game isn't without its flaws. Like, sometimes, like, quirky stuff happens, like, especially if you use things like the helicopters. Like, if you do the wrong thing the wrong way and, like, a helicopter crashes and you're in it, you may just instantly die. And when you're playing, like, the regular campaign, that's okay, because you just spawn back to life and everything's all good. But in ghost mode, if you do that, like, that's your entire progress. Like, you go back to the main menu. So I basically played not in any helicopters at all ever and just drove everywhere, which made it take a long time. But it's super fun, and it's like, it's different because, like, when stuff starts to go sideways, you literally just bail. Like, you just find the first thing that you can and you just get out of there, as opposed to, like, trying to truck through it, because you're like, it's not worth the risk of, getting, like, pinned into a spot and then getting knocked and then killed, and then that's your whole progress over. So you have to play it, like, way more cautious. I think it adds a lot more depth to the gameplay as far as making it more challenging, where you really have to be constantly thinking about, like, okay, if I go into this place and stuff goes sideways, like, how do I get back out without getting trapped in there or without dying? So I had a lot of fun with it. It definitely, like, I've played through the campaign a couple times just in general, and I do a lot of the like the daily challenges and stuff just to unlock all the stuff in the game. And it was definitely different from how I'd played it before. I had a lot of fun with it. So that was real cool.
How many agents did you lose?
All of the agents.
So the ghost, I guess I was confused about how that actually worked. So ghost mode is just kind of a toggle for any difficulty then. I assumed it was just like an elite tier difficulty. I didn't realize it was kind of like you can play on medium or whatever and then just toggle on ghost mode. That's super smart. I'm dumb for thinking it was the other way.
It's nice because you can, like, work your way up. So you can, like, play through a campaign in ghost mode, and, like, when you kill bosses and when you complete missions and stuff, you get extra prestige credits for doing that. So, like, that's kind of the incentive for playing in that mode. You can only unlock them one time. So once you've, like, killed a boss in ghost mode one time, you've unlocked, like, 400 prestige credits or whatever, which gets you a crate. And so that's cool because it gives you the opportunity to, like, take your time and play that and earn more stuff in the game. Like, I have the military helicopter now, which is, like, the AH-64 helicopter that I can spawn. Like, the rebels can spawn that for me because I got that in a prestige crate. And that's, like, totally game-changing because when bad things are happening, you're like, okay, like, let me call my attack helicopter.
Right.
We'll just get in the sky and shoot you with missiles. But, yeah, it's nice that if you don't want to play it on, like, the super hard difficulty, you can just drop in, and if you can play it on arcade, and you don't have to worry about getting, like, one shot and then killed.
And then having to start
like, I played
over.
through on hard. I felt like that was a good balance. I don't think I could do the entire ghost mode on expert. It would
Break
especially
your heart
not
when
like
you're
the
on
tier 1
El
mode.
Sueño.
Yeah.
And then get killed.
Yeah, and that mission is ridiculous. Like, there's
I'll
a
get there
1,000
someday.
SAM sites and everybody's trying to kill you. It's no. Nope. I'll stick to the easier difficulties and actually have some fun as opposed to whipping my controller through my television because I got
Smart.
shot on the way to kill Sweden.
Good choice.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah, right. All right.
You'd
cool.
come fix it for me, right, Moose?
Yeah, I'm a TV repairman also.
Multi-talented.
All right. Well, sticking with Tom Clancy, let's go over to Division 2. Chocolate, you've been playing that with some people from the community. Have you hit World Tier 1 yet? I told you we couldn't talk about this unless you did. So I guess this is really going to decide if this conversation is going to go on or not. So
Well, it's not going to go very far,
right.
so no, I haven't.
All right.
But Kate and Chester have been
All right, moving on.
fantastic, dragging me through. And Wes Hope as well has been joining us. So,
well, apparently they're not
It was
doing
a good
that good of a
time.
job because you're not at World Tier 1 still.
well, they stopped me playing Sea of Thieves, so it was all
that's messed
planned
up.
out. It was a bit of Sea of Thieves. It was meant to be, but no, I lost the battle, and we went to the Division.
I thought Wazope was super into Sea of Thieves too.
He
Thought he
is.
would have been on
He's
your
also
side.
he was also super into the Division. His character is hench, and just when he kills someone, they just literally melt. He's
Disintegrate.
yep, very good Division player, and I think he said he was 1-4 something. So was that World Tier 4? I was.
Yeah, he might. At this point,
like
I don't
tier
know what
score-wise.
numbers or in what
Yeah.
world tier.
What's the
Yeah, that
cap?
was his-
Is it 150?
Oh, I have no idea.
I think it's 150. Not sure.
But yeah, they graciously got me up 4 or 5 levels during that session.
All right, so 3 more weeks from now, we can talk about Division 2, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to plough through it on Monday. That's my aim. Monday, I'm going to get to World Tier 1.
All right. I'll believe it when I
Heard
see
this
it.
before, Bear.
I will try, honest.
All right, Moose, you finally picked up the Spider-Man DLC that you and I have been sitting on for what feels like years now. How's
Right.
that going?
It's good. Still a great game. Man, it's such a good game. Just literally, I started playing it the other night because I bought a bunch of crap in the PlayStation Store. And so it started downloading, and then, got the sticks in my hand, might as well do something. So I fired up Spider-Man and got myself hooked, and then went to look for the DLC, and it wasn't downloaded. So I fought a bunch of the little boss, not what are they called? They're like the little enemy hideouts. So I did a bunch of those.
Yeah, we just
night.
go down and there's just waves and waves of
Yeah, exactly.
enemies,
There's like
right?
6 waves of enemies with like a boss fight at the end. And so I did that one night for a couple hours, and I've got my Spider-Man up to, I think, like level 46 or 47 at this point. So all the perks and items are maxed out. So it's basically, I'm just OP in the game, and it's so much fun. And I think the most fun is just picking things up with my webs and swinging them around and then slamming them on people. That's basically all I do, is look for items to throw at people.
It's my favorite thing was taking guns out of bad guys' hands and then whipping those around and just beating
Yep.
them to death with their own guns.
Exactly. And then I started the DLC with the Black Cat missions, and it's pretty good. She's basically the female version of Spider-Man, and she's always one step ahead of him. So he's always hot on her trail, and he's trying to figure out why she's trying to steal all this stuff, and a mystery's unfolding as the story goes. I'm about 2 hours in, and I'd say I'm about halfway done. So if all 3 DLCs are 3 to 4 hours long, it's worth the extra $10 or $20 it costs for the pass.
Yeah, and what's awesome about that Black Cat DLC is that she was in like a decent chunk of the actual game, but then you
Right.
never had like a conclusion there. So,
Yeah, you didn't know why she was setting up all these spy places, and that kind of, it fills out the story for you.
yeah, so then like it just came to a point finally where she like her missions just kind of stopped popping up on my map, and I was like, well, I kind of need to know what happened with you. Of course, it's DLC, but
It's just behind a paywall. No big deal.
no biggie. What else are we gonna spend our money on?
But did you feel like the game was incomplete without it?
No.
That's
Absolutely
the
not. It
Yeah.
was definitely
So
she was a
that's
side story
awesome
for sure.
DLC.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was enough content in it, but I will say this is one of the first times that I had ever been like, wait, what happened to the rest of this story? Like, this feels incomplete, but it was just that one
Right.
storyline. Like, they could have just made the Black Cat stuff, like, added all of her weird little hideout things that you had to go to, like, just in the DLC.
Right.
I don't know if you had to be doing that alongside the main story.
Because they actually have more challenges and things like that in the DLC. There's this this girl, I can't remember what her name is, but she's like all neon pink, and she's all about social media. She's all about getting follows and likes and all that crap. And she sets up like obstacle courses around the city with EMP bombs that you have to destroy before the time runs out. And then if you can do super sweet parkour and shoot like through the gables of the water tower on top of the building, then you get bonus points, and you can like take a screenshot of you like posing as you're flying through the air. It's pretty cool. And so it seems like every DLC will have extra challenges on top of that. So it's not just the story, but there's other side missions and other things for you to do included.
Yeah, and I wasn't trying to take a shot at the main game because there was so much to do in that game, like, and just the moment-to-moment gameplay with the combat and the swinging and everything. It was so good, so perfect.
I suggest you go back because it's still really good.
Was getting back into the swing of things difficult at all?
Yeah, it was actually. Just to remember the combat, because I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed, and that is attacking is all on your triggers, and then this is a complete opposite, where all your attacks are on your square and triangle button, I believe, and then your dodge is circle, and the X button is just jump. So just getting back into the button combinations also is key to know, what your combos do as opposed to just mashing.
Right.
So once you get all that stuff down, and but the web swinging, that comes so natural. It's so much fun. You could just spend hours just swinging around the city.
Good deal.
Do you guys feel that's the best superhero game
Absolutely.
ever?
Yep.
Arkham Knight's really good though, but yeah, Spider-Man takes the cake though, for sure.
Yeah, it's so nice when a developer takes a concept like that in such a beloved world and then doesn't screw it up.
Doesn't mess it up. Yep.
Right.
We're not even looking for great. We're looking for good at this point, guys.
Is that foreshadowing for a future conversation here, Dan?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Oh. All right, cool. Yeah, I still have to check out that DLC at some point.
It's definitely worth going back for.
Add it to the list of things that'll never get played. Hopefully not. We'll see.
Yeah, see, the only reason why all of those little tower and node things were in the main game is because the developers know that the only thing that's going to be more powerful than you having ADD and not being able to finish a game is your OCD in having to know what the conclusion of all that stuff is. And that's why. That's the only reason why.
They're really just piling it on for me.
I've heard that the Spider-Man is a pretty easy platinum on PlayStation 2, so that may be my first one that I go for.
There you go. I mean, that's a game where I wouldn't mind shooting for 1,000 gamer score just because of, you want to experience everything. Although going and collecting all the backpacks is kind of monotonous, but
we got 5 left.
Yeah, I would say it's not you just kind of end up swinging by all of them eventually, and they're on your map. Exactly. And then when you pick them up, you do get a little slice of just Spider-Man lore and info, because he has a little voice recording about whatever you picked up. So it's not completely pointless. And didn't it also work towards getting different suits and stuff too,
yeah.
Or is that something else?
I believe one of the suits is locked behind 100%, doing 100% of the game.
Okay, so at least that, right?
Right. I think I would say 90% of the suits unlocked at this point. There's
Nice.
one that he's in his underwear and he's got a bag over his head. It's hilarious.
What part of the Spider-Man universe is that from?
I have no idea, but I'm glad they added it.
All
I need
right.
to see a screenshot.
I'll send you one. Photo mode. It's got
the
one of the
photo
best
mode
photo mode. Yeah,
Perfect.
it is.
Yeah, we're gonna need those in Discord.
Okay.
Okay. What else? Let's go over to let's go to me. How's that sound? I picked up Cadence of Hyrule, which came out on the 13th, so it came out last week. This is that Crypt of the Necrodancer, I want to say sequel. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely kind of a sequel because the main character comes back. You land in Hyrule. You pick between Link and Zelda. You decide where you want to go and who you want to play with. So I went to Link. And then you're essentially put down into Hyrule with Zelda music that's kind of like it's kind of mixed more electro than you would be used to. I want to say it's more like
house
dance.
mix?
Yeah, I mean it kind of has to be because the movement in this game is by the beat. So like as you're moving, if you don't go by the beat, your guy will stop. He also his like power combo stops because if you take 20 steps with the beat and then attack a guy, you're going to do like more damage and you're going to have more stamina, I think it is. So you kind of need the music to be mixed with some type of heavy beat. Yeah, so it's really cool being put into that world with like the old Zelda music kind of remixed, and then you see like the things you're fighting are from Zelda, and it's so good. And if you liked Crypt of the Necrodancer, which I don't think a lot of people even played it because it was kind of like, this is a weird dungeon crawling rhythm game / roguelite / what other words could you put in there? But if you enjoyed that game, this one's so far is really good. And I think seeing just even the art style, like it looks a lot better than Crypt did. So if you're just into Zelda, it's kind of tough to get used to the moving by the beat thing initially, but once you get past that and you get used to it, what a game. And also, Crypt of the Necrodancer is like $2.50 right now or $3 or something ridiculous.
Right, that's what I'm looking up right now. $3.99.
Yeah, $3.99 right now, and that's until
Steal.
Thursday, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, I want to say, I don't know.
Either way, if you're listening to this and you have a chance to go look at that game, it's well worth the few dollars you're gonna pay, especially if you're into rhythm games. Like the soundtrack on both games are so good. So
would this be like the ultimate DDR game that you could play with your DDR pads?
Oh my God. I never thought about that, but if you could somehow hook up a DDR mat to this game, Moose, it would literally, this is the perfect game for that. You move up, down, left, right to a beat.
Well, mark this timestamp and erase this, and we'll make $1 million.
All right, $1 million idea. Sold.
Timestamp done.
Hey, Choco, you got plenty of money. You're out, buddy.
Yeah, you.
God damn it! It's like the Dragon's Den. Yep, I'm out.
Yeah, so that's a good one. Definitely check it out. Moose, you've been playing the show 19.
I have.
Some baseball, huh? You playing as the Rockies?
Of course. Best player in the game on Rockies, so why would I pick any other team?
DJ LeMahieu?
No, dude, don't talk about DJ. It makes me sad. He went to the Yankees, if nobody knows. Who cares about sports?
Nope.
So, yeah, the show. I was hoping for something to blow my mind from the last one that I bought last year, and it looks pretty much the same.
I think we might have been in party chat, and you're like, so what's different about the show 19? And I was like, the roster?
Yeah, exactly. That's about
all
it.
that changes.
But it's still a good game. I have a lot of fun with it. I'm 2-0 on the season so far, so I played a game last night.
So you're just doing like franchise mode?
Yeah, that's basically what I do. But I do need to check out that Road to the Show. It's basically like you pick a player and take him from, I think, like high school state championship game through the minor leagues and the farm squads all the way up to Major League Baseball.
That's awesome. That's kind of what it looked like Madden was doing a little bit this year with having to go through the draft process and stuff, which is cool.
Exactly.
Nice.
So it's basically the typical sports campaign, but I'll check it out, let you guys know how it is.
Just let me know how the Yankees do this year.
I'm pretty sure you got it
in your video game.
Oh, they'll be terrible.
Messed up. You set their slider down to incompetent.
Never win a game.
Awesome.
Just drop their salary cap.
Oh, man.
Actually, I think they sold the team on my game.
What?
Yeah, they sold them
for $40 billion.
Now Florida has 4 baseball teams.
Oh, wonderful. Derek Jeter owns them all.
Exactly.
Boy.
But no, the show's good. It's great, dude. It's a perfect baseball simulation. So if that's what you're looking for, you got to have a PlayStation. But that is the game, and it's also on sale right now. That's why I picked it up. It's on sale for $20 off, which is $39.99, I believe.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. All right. Well, this wouldn't be a podcast with DANPOD if we didn't
Right.
talk a little Blackout. What's going on in Blackout, Dan?
Oh,
I
boy.
haven't been there in like a month. I've heard there's
know.
some not so great changes happening to loot boxes and whatnot. Do you want to rant a little, avoiding
Something
as
going
many
on with
F-bombs
this.
as you can?
Summertime
Well-
new update.
You know, it's sad because I've got so much time to this game, but it just seems like literally every new iteration that comes out, so every change that they make to the game, every time that they drop new content, every time that they add everything, it's like the people who are the suits there either are incompetent or they're deliberately trying to upset their fan base. I don't know why. But yeah, I don't know. The gameplay's still solid. I still have fun playing it, but I'm not playing nearly as much Blackout as I was a while ago. I mean, Jesus, I can't remember the last time that we played Risky.
Nope.
It's
It was as soon as they blew up the dam and ruined my docks.
Yeah.
I
Well,
played
and
like
here's
a
the
week.
thing. Obviously, that pissed off a lot of people because the docks are already back. If you hop in now, the boat's already back to upright. And
Are you
What?
serious?
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa, let's end this podcast and go play a game.
Get out of here.
The boat's already back, and the yacht hijacked is in like the cove in the mouth of Nuketown Island. So it's
Oh,
like
what?
tipped.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Boat wars.
I don't know.
When
But,
did they change that?
It came with the summer update. So for us, it was this past Tuesday that it changed. But
Okay.
if you were on PlayStation, it was last Tuesday.
What's the
But,
summertime theme that we're not able to get everything that's in the battle pass?
Here's a bunch
It's-
of guns you can't
everything.
get. They're loot boxes.
Everything that they're adding, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's officially pay to win now. I mean, they added 4 new guns. If you make it through all of the reserve tiers for the summertime, you get 1 guaranteed gun, and it may be one of the 4 new guns, or it may be a masterclass of any of the previous guns. So you're not even
So you
guaranteed
could
to get
already
one of the
have
new
it.
ones. And so
terrible.
it's like, yeah, and then the only other way you can earn them is through reserves, and you can only start getting reserves either after tier 50 or the random ones that you get. And with reserves, you get duplicates, and there's 10,000 items in the reserve cache right now because everything has stickers and camos, and I don't even know. To get all the guns, people are opening like 1,000 reserve crates, so they'd have to spend like $800 in-game, or not even in-game, real-world money to be able to buy enough reserve tiers so that they could open enough reserve crates just to have all of the guns in the game.
And that is literally just focusing on people with addictions, is it not?
Yeah, well,
Literally targeted.
That's the only reason that you would have to have everything
Absolutely.
in the game is you're addicted to it.
absolutely. And they know, like, this model is to prey on the players that they call whales, which is
Right.
the same model that casinos use. They're not
Exactly.
they're not trying to bring in the people that come in and play a couple of hands of blackjack and have a steak and go home. They're trying to bring the people in who literally can't stop pulling the lever on the side of the machine, and then end up spending their entire life savings in the matter of 3 days, and they don't care. Like I just don't understand from a PR standpoint how they can keep constantly dumping this crap. It's I don't know.
Sad
I'm
times.
sure you can hear all of my frustration and disappointment, but it's why I'm really just not playing the game anymore. And it's not because I don't have fun playing it. It's just because I genuinely don't want to support a product that is so far off from the mark of what they should do. So
What's acceptable even? Like it's crazy. They can't even
Yeah.
hit that.
Right.
yeah, it's literally every time a new update happens, it's like, well, they can't make it any worse next time. Obviously they're just shooting for the bottom here, so it can't possibly get any worse. And then the next update comes,
Here,
and
hold
it's
my
like,
beer.
how? Yeah, it's I don't know, man. But I will say the new ground war mode that they put in there is like super hit or miss of whether it's fun or not.
And what's the
and
ground
it really
rule
all
mode?
depends on like where the map goes. Oh yeah, if for those of you who don't know, on the Blackout map, basically it divides all the player base into 2 teams of 50, as opposed to
Squads.
and you still have a squad of 4, but your team of 50 is made up of squads of 4.
Right.
But anybody can revive anybody, and basically it immediately starts the map where there are 2 helicopters. There's your team's helicopter, and then there's the opposing team's helicopter. Then everybody jumps out, and then it's basically a free for all 50v50. And the way that it goes is it's a respawn mode. So the map will close, I think it's 3 times, and it's fairly quick, and you have 2 opportunities to respawn if you're killed early on. But then it just plays out with the last circle of whoever wins. And if you have a team that's like has good map play and they get into the zone early and stay there and kind of defend it, it's a lot of fun. Like I played a game where it ended at the dam, and it was so much fun because there were just so many places that people could be, as opposed to like if it's out in a field and there's not really anywhere where anybody can be. But with the hydro dam, like people were down at the bottom of it, people were in the top, people were coming up and down the elevators.
Chaos.
It's absolute chaos in a good way. It's really stable. It runs really smooth. I didn't have any problems with performance with it. I've had fun in the couple times playing that. Like when I drop in to do I only drop in to do my daily tier skips now to play that game. I'll drop in and play 1 game just so I'm accomplishing something, and that's the mode that I'll drop in and play because it's easy to get a couple kills, and then that's one mode that has kept me where I might play a couple games as opposed to just 1. But I know that Activision needs to, or not Activision, Treyarch needs to. I'm sure they're tuning into the podcast, and I'm sure they care what I think.
100%.
But yeah, absolutely, they need to get their stuff together because it's a mess. Thank God Modern Warfare is coming out. I'm ready for a new game.
Just stay strong, Dan. Don't buy any loot boxes.
Yeah, it's one thing you can be certain of is I'll never spend any money on any loot boxes.
I think I had my initial COD credits, and I don't even think I spent some of them, but I have
I still
whatever
have
like
some too.
the
I bought a
pre-order
suit.
currency was, and that was it. So not taking my money. Silly gooses.
Well, that was a lot of writing.
End rant. Sorry.
Mark all those timestamps.
There's only a couple.
There, no.
5 in 5 minutes.
That's fine. They're all close together. It's easy to get them.
Easiest way to edit.
I cannot stress how much restraint that was to keep it to that bare minimum.
That could have been way worse.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, Dan.
Every third word was the F word in my mind. I had the filter on though.
Appreciate you. What were you saying, Moose?
So I heard you beat a game this week.
I beat a game this week. I did it.
Woohoo!
I know Chocolate's also playing something. Aren't you too, Moose? A little bit?
Yeah.
And that game's Katana Zero. I guess I should have led with that.
Great game.
You guys briefly touched on it last week, and I didn't have any input because I hadn't played it yet. And I beat it since we talked about it last, so obviously I liked it a lot. I sat down maybe, I want to say 3 sessions is all I needed to get through this. It's maybe like 4 to 6 hours. Good Lord, is that a good game, though? You guys didn't tell me how much fun it was going to be. I wish you hyped it up more. Whew.
It's a lot of fun. It can get hectic, though, can't it?
It can get hectic, but because of how quickly you get back into the game after you like die or something, it kind of makes that chaos. It's like you're learning a little bit with every single run. Like you might get through 3 of the rooms, killing a few guys, and then you stumble across this last room that has 6 dudes, and you're probably going to die the first couple times.
Right. Until you figure out the pattern of when they shoot their guns. And, yeah, basically like you said, you start over right at the beginning of the room, so you can immediately learn and apply what you've learned. You don't have to truck back, say like Hollow Knight, you don't have to truck back 15 minutes to get back to where you were.
Yeah, exactly. And this is that kind of style reminds me of something like Celeste or Daggerhood. Those are both really good games as far as having these small sections where when you make like the perfect run, it may take you like 20 to 30 seconds, but that
I would have said shorter.
or
than
shorter
that.
than that. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
But it's just crazy that it may have taken you, like, there's a boss fight at the end of this until I figured one like key point out, and maybe you guys will run into the same issue that I did, definitely user error, but I spent a good like 45 minutes on this one boss just bashing my head against the wall because I was like, why can't I beat this? And then when you finally beat it, it was like a 9-second boss run, and you're like, what?
Right.
I'm so bad. Why?
So what is the replayability of Katana Zero?
So I mean, there is like dialogue choices, and I kind of wanted to say that you could turn the story to go the way you want, but really they kind of seem like superficial and they don't really matter.
Just kind of guides you along the rails and lets you feel like you're making choices.
Yeah, but I gotta think that no matter what you did in the story, it was gonna end the same way. So if anything, it just kind of makes it a fun way to see some different dialogue as you're playing, because they have one thing that's awesome with the dialogue is that if you want, you have this brief moment of time where you can hit B or whatever button it is to try to skip
basically just like
skip the dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it like shatters the dialogue, and your guy just says something super aggressive like,
It's my favorite
Right.
button, Moose.
Dan,
Yep,
if
it
there was
is.
one thing you were gonna love about this game, it was the aggressive "get me the f out of this conversation" button.
Dude, I made the lady at the receptionist desk at the murder hotel so angry.
Yeah,
That
and
like after I beat the level, like you go back and talk to her, and it's like she won't speak to you. So it's I guess it'll unlock something if you don't make her mad, but I didn't. So at this first playthrough, at least, she's angry with me, and so I missed some part of dialogue or some part of the story.
So yeah, that's
Did she help you out, Moose?
No,
So at the
absolutely
end-
not. She wouldn't even speak.
So
to
when
me.
you go, when you go through that whole level,
Spoilers.
Yeah, this could be
Spoilers,
slightly spoilerish. Spoiler. There's the police officer that says, "Where have you been? You got blood on your coat." Does she not put any dialogue in there at all?
I think she says something not to my benefit though.
okay. That's kind of funny then, because were you nice to her, Chocolate?
No,
Like
I was nice to her.
She was like, "Oh
Yeah,
no,
and
he
she said-
just showered or something. He's here."
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that was it. It was the shower thing, and that can't be blood. And the police officer goes, "Yep, that's fine."
I think she says something like, "I think he had something to do with it," or something like that. But you're a ninja, so
so
it
the
doesn't
total
matter what the
opposite.
cops know.
Well, that's true.
But
Just
yeah.
killed him with your sword too.
so if you didn't have to like kill that cop or something in that lobby, I don't think it really changes anything in the game. I think that just goes to show that the dialogue choices don't really do much besides give you some different dialogue sections. You're definitely not changing the story at all.
Right.
Yeah.
But between the mix of having different throwables, having the slowdown time mechanic that is limited by a gauge, obviously, the dodge roll that gives you invulnerability, like when you combine all of that into the perfect run, like it's so good. And you can katana bullets back at people. So if a
Right.
dude shoots a rifle at you, you can click slow-mo quick before the bullet gets to you and just hit that bullet right at him and kill him. So when you watch,
Oops.
the cool thing is when you go through these levels and
We
you
Jedi
finally
now.
what?
Jedi
Say-
now.
Said we
Exactly.
Jedi now.
Yeah, essentially. So when you finally do get your perfect run and beat the level, it plays back what you just did as like security cam footage. So you can watch this perfect run, and it doesn't slow things down, obviously, or anything like that. So if you're like rolling around, hitting bullets back into people, and then it plays it in fast or like normal speed, it looks so good. And the story is weird, and it's got drugs, and it's got like mind control. There's some good characters that you're going to meet towards the end of this. But the story doesn't really do much at the end for me. It kind of sets it up for a sequel, very well actually. Like if there's not Katana 1 coming out next, then
What are they doing?
then that's just poor writing. But yeah, man, I can't say enough good things about that game. And I don't know. I think it might be like $20 new, maybe.
Right.
I think it's on sale at the moment, wasn't it? Or has it just come out of the sale?
I had
has
picked it up
been
when it
on
was on
sale.
sale, so
Yeah.
that might be ending. But even if it's $19.99 or $24.99, in my opinion, it's a shorter experience, sure. So if you want to think about it that way, but that 4 to 6 hours or whatever it took me to beat it, I enjoyed all of that. It's just a real
And
good
also
game.
keep in mind that the eShop deals page is kind of a revolving door. So if it's not on sale this week, it may be on sale next week.
Yeah, yep. Completely agree. Chocolate, how far are you in that game, though? I just sat there and didn't let you speak at all. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I think I'm only on the third contract. Is it third contract in the prison? So I've just escaped the prison. Yes, I'm sure that's the third contract, and I've just come to my house and met some old person on the street, and that's as far as I've got. I feel if I can sit down for a good kind of 2 hours, I could plough through this game. But I always pick it up when either my daughter's having a nap or I've managed to get her engrossed in some sort of Peppa Pig rubbish. I'm kind of like, go watch this. Ah, here comes the Switch. Father technique of the year. But yeah, the game is so good. When I saw it, oh God, how long ago did we see this game? 3-4 months ago?
Yeah.
I think on Nintendo Direct. I was all about Katana Zero. I said, that's the game I'm getting. I'm going to get it. I think it went on sale within a week or two of it being released. Yep. Picked it up, and yeah, it has not let me down. One of the best games on the Switch I have played, and yes, it almost outdoes or does outdo Gunman Clive.
What?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
No way.
Yep. This is my game. I love it.
Good deal.
It's the art style. That and the colours just brings me in.
There's so many weird little things in it. Like when you start each level and he opens up his like Walkman and puts on a headset and like picks a different song for each level. It reminds me of, if you've seen Baby Driver, whenever he's about to do like his car driving, he has to put in music. It's identical to that, and then the music's all good. It's all bippity boppity music, video game music. I can't think what it's called.
I don't want to say hip hop.
Electronica?
I mean, yeah, it's electronic, but it's like the video game specific, like chip tune, maybe. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So it's got some good chiptune tracks, and yeah, good game. All right, I'll stop gushing, I guess. Moose, you finally did it. I mean, I'm sure that you said you beat Red Dead Redemption like 6 months ago or something, but you finally. You went and played the epilogues after I beat him. Did I steer you wrong?
No, it's pretty good. I wasn't really happy on how it ended, but it's fine, I guess.
Fine. Whatever.
Why?
Well, do we want to talk spoilers here or what?
Yeah, sure.
No,
we don't. Okay.
Okay. No spoilers. Fair enough.
I'm trying to think about what you wouldn't have liked about the very, very ending, like up on top of the snowy mountain.
I'm genuinely curious.
Exactly.
What you could dislike.
I would have liked to.
This is so hard to tiptoe
Should we cut
around.
this part out of the show?
I would have liked to kill that person myself, as opposed to that person coming through the door at the last second and shooting him.
Okay. All right, hey, that's a minor complaint in my opinion.
As
Well,
vague,
it was a great
as vague
story.
as we can possibly be.
Yeah, that's about as vague as I could be, right?
I think so.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so yeah,
Chocolate has no idea, and he never will, because that's like 75 hours out from where he is in that game.
Oh yeah, that means it's 75 years out from that game.
What's funny is because I was just like, yeah, when you're on top of that snowy mountain, but that's exactly how the game starts, is on a snowy mountain.
Right,
So
yeah,
the snowy
it's
mountain
cool.
you're on, Chocolate, that's about 80 hours before you get to the snowy mountain we're talking
Yeah,
about.
if you don't go anywhere, you're at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Just save yourself 80 hours and figure it's the same.
I've done the game then.
You beat
There
it.
you
Good
go.
work. You're right where you're supposed to be.
So
I'll just YouTube the middle.
I didn't really like that part.
Exactly.
I know that it is a prequel, so there has to be, people alive for Red Dead Redemption.
I'll say you need to know that John Marston was going to make it through this story. Spoilers.
No, what's his name? Jim. What's he call himself? It's like
Jim.
Jim Harston or something like that.
When he's at the post office.
Yeah.
I'm not John.
like-
You're John. Who's
I'm
John?
not John Marston. I'm Jim Harston. It's like it's so close. But yeah, I'm glad I
well-
finished it. It was fun. There's a couple big epic gunfights and battles at the end there in those last 2 epilogues. So it's
Yeah,
worth
some
it.
of the stuff with Sadie, I thought was really good.
I love Sadie. She needs her own game,
Yeah, I feel like they were grooming her a little bit for that.
right?
I
Why-
wouldn't be surprised at all if there was some kind of a spin-off or
Like the bounty
Well-
hunter game.
Yeah, well, I know they
yeah,
added,
something. Or if they're
like,
planning
I
it
wanna
for the
say
online
it's
mode.
6 to 8 missions online that in the last update that had her involved.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's not what that was all
I
leading
know.
to.
I hope that's not it, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go play that. All right. Well,
So,
hey, I'm
but
glad
yeah.
you finished it either way, though. That's good.
Yeah, it was good.
And don't you feel like like that you actually beat it now? Not.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd never. The funniest thing is like I played like 70 hours of that game and I never used the Deadeye mode.
What?
I would just literally hide behind cover and
What?
zoom.
I
You
don't
know,
think we
just
heard
do
you.
that.
What did you say?
I never used the or the Deadeye mode, and then finally I used it a bunch in the last one. But yeah, I just hide behind cover, and you could literally just left trigger, flick your right thumbstick up,
up a
right
little bit.
trigger,
Yeah.
and you headshot everybody. So there was really no use for it.
Moose, but the Deadeye makes
Well-
some of the most like epic
Yeah,
cowboy
I know.
moments where you just draw your 6-shooter and like headshot, 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 headshot. It looks so.
I know. I
good.
got it down in the epilogues. That's what I'm saying. I finally got
Or-
around to using it.
When it's
good.
like the last guy and you just shoot him 37
Like
times in the
26
face.
times.
Like,
No, I did that with one of them, and then they're just like standing there, and their face is just full of holes, like in the slow motion. It looks
That's gonna look real scary in gaming like 15 years from now.
right.
yeah.
Oh god.
And you're gonna have to like reach up and like wipe the blood out of your eyes to be able to see again.
The 4D effects where your VR goggles actually
Right.
splatter blood onto your face.
You got to clear off your vision in order to see more.
Oh, we're headed
there's-
to a dark, strange place, kids.
There's a game that's coming out next year that I've been following from an indie developer called Ready or Not, and it's basically like a follow-up to the SWAT genre of games, if you've ever played those. Like, I love SWAT 3 when I was younger. I remember playing that on PC when I was like 10 years old. And so this is like a spiritual successor to those games. And one of like their key selling points on it is that there's, quote, visceral gore
Oh,
in the
boy.
game. So like
That's
Like-
a,
like
that's a
when-
selling point.
it's like part of what they're selling with the experience. So like if you shoot somebody in the head, like where the round goes into their cranium, like their eyes will be pushed out on that side because of the force inside of their skull. So you talk about like how gross it's going to get, that
Right.
we are already in the future. It's happening now.
But when we start to approach photorealism in games, it's gonna get scary.
And I do want to do just a little bit of PSA about Katana Zero. It's pretty violent. So if you're thinking about picking it up for your kids, just know that there's a blood
yeah.
spray all over the wall.
That's a
after
terrible idea.
Every person you kill.
And the dialogue
So-
trees are full of.
Yeah, it's just not
Dan
for
words.
kids.
Can we just call them Dan words
Hey,
from now on?
I've been pretty
Yeah.
good
Yes. If you ever want to
for the most part.
show up to a community play when Dan's there, if you want to learn some new words.
Yeah, then you get some uncensored DANPOD.
Or just
the
creative
best
new
damn
ways
pod.
to
Best damn
use them.
Yes. That word doesn't
Just
fit.
don't play Battlefield.
Objective C.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's call it Objective C, yes. All right, moving swiftly on. Moose, we're kind of accidentally maybe stepping back into Destiny 2 a little bit.
Oh, I am not accidentally doing anything. I'm
Oh, are you
all
doing
in,
this on
sir.
purpose?
Oh, yeah.
I think I did it
All
on
right, I'll be
accident.
back in a couple minutes.
All right, see you, Dan. Go bathroom break time.
So yeah, I picked up the season pass for $15. Well, first I picked it up for $25, and then the next day it went on sale for $15. So I submitted a refund stating that I bought the wrong version, and I wanted the $15 version, not the $25. So technically I wasn't lying.
Yeah, that's
Just
fair.
bent the truth.
And so I started what is it called? The first of, I want to say season 5. It's called Black Armory Volunder Forge, and I've basically been grinding. I've been using a guide online. Sorry, I cheat, but that game's just way too deep for me to not do that. And so I've been farming powerful enemies, blowing stuff up with my rocket launcher, because basically you've got to blow up. There's a whole big quest involved, and then once you're done, they have the grind for you. You've got to kill a bunch of enemies with power weapons, and then kill powerful enemies with power weapons, and then kill more powerful enemies to get the radiant seeds from them, and then you can forge the weapon. So
you just made this game sound like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, well, I'm having fun. But, you're shooting stuff and blowing it up, and it's, Destiny's 2 has some of the best visual effects as far as explosions and gunplay and
But is
weapons.
it visceral gore?
There's definitely no visceral gore, but heads do explode. They're just not bloody
They
because
pop into
they're
like
aliens.
sparkly.
Yeah, it's
things.
pretty and shiny. And pretty shiny things pop out of them. So I'm having a good time with it. I'm hoping that you and Megan will keep playing. I don't think I sold her very well last night. I think everybody went to sleep before I got struck by lightning.
Yeah, that was fun.
That scared me so bad. It was weird. I had a dry lightning strike like on the street right behind me, and it literally like shut down my internet and kicked me off the Xbox at the same time.
But right
not
before all of this
Risky and
happened,
Megan thought I had died.
yeah, he was like, "Oh my god!" And then just he disappeared. And I was like, "Yeah, Moose died. Should we go to bed? I guess we should go to bed since he's not here."
And that's
now,
what they
so-
did. I messaged him on Discord. I was like, just
Quick,
restarting
before
my
he gets back
Xbox.
on.
He's like, I think we're done.
We were going to mourn the loss of the moose.
So I finally unlocked the forge, and I've got to go forge a weapon now. It's the next step in my quest, and I believe it's a legendary, so I'm excited to see what I get.
The amount of YouTube videos I've watched in the past week trying to figure out what I should be doing in Destiny 2 right now is absurd. And
Dude, I'm figuring it out, so like I can,
Thank
if you guys
God.
want to do it later, I can kind of Sherpa you through and show you the most efficient ways to do things, because
I
the internet
appreciate
tells
that.
me how.
because right now I'm in the Warmind DLC, so that was part 2 of 3. So I'm just trying to get through all that, but I'm stuck at a part that like you were talking about earlier, where I just need to kill X amount of something.
Right. There's a lot of those.
I don't like.
I feel
that.
like we need a CAG Sherpa program for like. There's
Should do that.
multiple games.
Right. We
Like a
definitely
CAG
do
Sherpa
that.
program for like the Division 2,
Sea of
and
Thieves,
for
got it.
Sea of Thieves.
Actually,
Dude,
Destiny.
Megan has that.
Yeah, my bad. I've
What's her
been
levels at
overpassed.
right now?
She's all in the 40s, I think, and
That's
like,
so gross, dude.
hey, you watch
I'm
it.
joking.
I know where you
She's
live.
like-
disgusting.
She's been playing that game for what, a month, maybe 6 weeks,
And she
she's
passed-
about Pirate Legend.
Yeah, like she's coming
Yeah,
dangerously
that's
close to surpassing
badass.
me. The only
She's
reason
like, you guys play this kids game? Oh, Pirate Master Legend? Is that a good thing? Did I break it?
did I win?
Did I
is that
win?
how I
Is that
scored?
good?
Yeah, we should.
She's literally just on there grinding skull forts by herself while you're at work all day.
I turn on my phone and I just check periodically to see if she's on Xbox.
Dude, I mean, I have like weird hours that I end up working, and so like frequently during the week I'll come home and it'll be like 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'll have like 20 minutes that I'll be home, and I'll turn on my Xbox and Meg is on playing Sea of Thieves every time.
Pirate Legend, baby.
And you jump in and cash in on that skull fort and go back
I know
to work, right?
that's the strat. MLG strats. Just wait till somebody else is playing and hop in when they're turning the crap.
Hey, that's how the first guy made Pirate Legend.
Prodigy, scum. No offense. Yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, so everybody tune into Meg's stream. If you didn't know, she's
Mixer.com
Streaming now.
/MC_shore.
She's not streaming now, is she?
Not currently.
shameless the Meg plug. You're
Yep.
welcome, Meg.
But yeah, I think everybody should play Destiny, because I play by myself right now, and it's fun, but it could be more fun.
It could be more fun if I had friends that would play with me.
Yep, I
There's-
just play with randos.
There's so many raids that like that's what I'm working towards right now, is just being a high enough flight level so I can kind of experience that stuff that I've
Dude,
missed, because that's
you can
far and away
raid
my
now.
favorite stuff.
All the suggested light levels are 300.
For
all
all
the
the stuff
raids.
that's out right now?
Yeah. At least all the raids up to what I've seen. because that's
Well
one of the
then.
ways that I farm those hard enemies. Is I go to the Leviathan and I just shoot the first 8 guys and kill all them and collect whatever they drop for me, and then go back to the orbit and do it again, rinse and repeat.
This changes everything.
Yeah,
But Moose, I'm only level 3.
chocolate. Let's focus on division,
20
buddy.
years from now,
But can we do all
Okay.
the raids in Anthem though? That's
what
the question.
What rates?
What is
That's the
Anthem?
question.
What is this anthem you speak of? All right.
There's a new Iron Man game coming out, Dan. We don't have to worry about that one.
Yeah, we're covered. We're good to go.
But only one of us can be the Iron Man.
Yeah, but it sounds like it's going to be more of a single player experience anyway, so.
We'll talk about that in a minute. All right. Does anyone else have anything that they've been playing this past week? That took up more time than I thought it was going to. I was saying it's going to be a short show for everybody, but we still have a few more things to go through. Everyone good though?
No, I think we're good.
All right.
Yep.
On a quick note, I loaded up that Elder Scrolls Blades mobile game, Moose.
Me too, me
Ooh,
too.
I don't know how you're playing that.
I'm like level 7 still.
Yikes.
I play it basically between loading screens.
I just hate how you have to hold down to make attacks. I just
No.
want to tap.
Oh,
and attack.
yeah. That's not so bad, though. If you, like, time it right, you can do combos, and the guys die in, like, 3 hits.
No, I guess I should play more than the initial 2 minutes and 47
Yeah.
seconds to actually
Just
see what
keep
this
killing
game's about.
goblins. It'll get fun. Once you open your first gold chest, and you'll be fine.
Can I just pay for gold chests
Yeah, absolutely.
and
you
not
can.
pay or not play? Just
If
pay.
that's what you want to do.
That is their preferred method.
Oh,
of
good.
acquiring
But
it.
if you're throwing money away, I got an address you can ship it to.
Oh, all right. After I burn it, I'll send you the ashes.
That's fine, I guess.
All right, cool.
Savage.
Just a quick update on Game Pass Roulette. That would be our segment normally this week. I accidentally kind of announced the game last week because I wasn't thinking on last week's show. The game we're playing is Outer Wilds, and after this comes out, you guys are going to have 2 weeks after that, I believe. So 3 weeks
Correct.
in total. So plenty of time to play some Outer Wilds, get in some feedback. We have a channel in Discord for that, or reach out to us wherever if you have feedback about Outer Wilds. All right, and we are going to do something different with the news this week since we're coming right off of E3. There's not a ton of stuff that we didn't really cover or that was worth covering at this point, I guess. So
I think we covered all
Right.
of E3.
Yeah,
and
if
All
that
the writers are
2.5 hour
hungover
long-
this week.
exactly.
Yeah.
We couldn't find our
Everybody's
news because
on
the
their
real
post
journalists
E3
aren't
coma.
here. Yeah, precisely. So what we were going to do is we're just going to kind of go through a few of our favorite things that we saw at the show, because I think the way we did it last week, we kind of just talked about each thing a little bit, and if we sounded excited, maybe. I think we were all probably just really tired, so it just sounded like we didn't care about anything. But in case we came off that way, let's just go through some of the stuff we saw at E3 that we really enjoyed. We'll just go around in a circle, and we'll start with Chocolate. Chocolate, what did you see at E3 this year that has you pumped?
it was breathtaking.
What was it called?
Oh.
No.
You're
It was
breathtaking.
Cyberpunk, obviously. You're
Did
breathtaking.
you see they're going to send that guy a
Did
code?
someone pay you? Yeah, I heard they were going to send him a
Yep.
code or a box or something, but he said no, donate it.
Oh, yeah, that
donate
guy ended
something
up
to
turning
charity
into
or
Turd.
Oh, yeah, he was trying
Yeah.
to leverage it into them donating a bunch of money for charity or
How about
something,
instead
right?
of doing this, you
Yes.
donate it? to- I
Douchey.
should- Yeah, whatever.
Oh.
Moving on. Cyberpunk. Yeah, Chocolate.
Cyberpunk. So it's getting me ready. I'm still unsure whether they threw Keanu Reeves in just for E3. I'm 100% sure they did. Sorry.
He's in the game.
I would say from what I've heard, he's actually in the game a decent amount.
Maybe I'm wrong, but so I'm really looking forward to Cyberpunk. I really want that world to engulf me in a very good single player immersion. That's what I'm looking forward to this game, and I just love the Blade Runner-esque look to it. It's me all over.
Yeah, agreed. I think so. What was shown there? It was really just Was there gameplay? I feel like
A couple cinematics. There might have been some gameplay. It looked like at one point they dove behind some cars and started shooting with some enemies across the street.
okay,
So-
yeah, we did say that last week.
Yeah,
Right.
I think it had a kind of like the Halo trailer.
Yeah.
It was that kind of ambiguous. Yes, it could be. I
Or the
don't know.
Avengers kind of did the same thing where they'd like put the camera right behind Iron Man, so it looked like you could
Right.
potentially be controlling him at that moment.
Yeah, you don't know if
but-
it's a cinematic or a third-person type view.
Or they stole it off Anthem. Who knows?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Right. The ambiguous in-game footage.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
at the bottom. So it's like, all right, so is this gameplay or is this in the engine? Or
Yeah, it's just
Was this a
in-engine.
movie?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Cyberpunk looks great though. Completely agree. Moose, what did you see at E3 that you loved?
I got 5 things on my list here. In no
I just
particular...
want one of them.
I know. In no particular order. Let's go with Doom Eternal.
Nice. Okay, that definitely wasn't on my list.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what it is. And basically everything I've heard from other podcasts and stuff post E3 is that was the big surprise, and that's the one that a lot of the people are looking forward to getting hands on afterwards. I heard a few guys say that they were upset when their demo was over. They just wanted to play more because they were who was it? A guy on one of Giant Bomb said he was terrible at it and he just wanted to get better and he wanted to be good at it. So I'm intrigued for sure. How about you guys?
I haven't played the first one, so I should probably start there. I guess. I think it's
Dude, it is intense.
it's in Game Pass, right?
Yep, it is. Or it was at one point. I know.
Okay. You didn't play that at all, did you, Dan?
No, not the most recent iterations. I'm sure I would enjoy it though.
I think I've played about 2 hours of it, and just the music, and it's one of
Yeah.
those games that you got to keep moving. You don't sit behind something, or they will all enclose upon you and destroy you. So you just got to keep moving and shooting, and just aim for the face.
Aim for all the faces.
It's the
Yeah,
In the
it's so fun.
face.
typical run and gun.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? It isn't giving you any chance.
It is
No.
the
Any
OG
coverage.
run and
The
gun.
OG
Yeah,
running gun.
if you
That's what
stand
their
still, you're
marketing
gonna
should
die.
say.
It created
Absolutely.
the genre.
I was just about to say it's the daddy of run and gun.
Yep. And Daddy had
Run
a
and gun
son,
daddy.
so I want to see if the son is like Daddy.
All right. Okay, let's go over to Dan. Dan, what did you see at the show that really stuck out to you or that you enjoyed?
So I've got a funny thing and then kind of a more serious one. I particularly enjoyed with Bethesda's conference that they spent probably 60% of their time with these like promo videos for their employees trying to prove that they're all like real people. And I've convinced myself that the only reason why they would do that is because they've gotten so much hate mail and death threats over what a horrific mess Fallout 76 was, and that it wasn't even remotely close to a finished game, that they are like, no, we're real people, guys. Like we're nice. Like look at this promo video that tells you why we're nice people, and like we have hobbies and like we do other things and like we're people. And like cool, if you want to do that, make like a promo for that. But they ran like 20 of those. Like in between every segment, they had like a new one with like 3 new employees, and that of their entire conference that stuck out to the most because they had nothing else to present.
What about Battle
So
Royale
that was
and Fallout
kind of my
76,
funny
Dan?
thing.
Yeah, the Ring of Fire. That's new. Nobody's ever
Yeah,
done that before.
I can't think of a worse game to put a battle royale mode in.
Why?
Like,
the shooting is so clean.
Literally, like Fallout 76, the gun mechanics in all of the Fallout games, because their engine is 37 years old and doesn't run very good, they're the worst shooting mechanics of any first-person games. And rather than fix it, they created VATs. So they're like, we'll do the shooting for you. Like, we'll just give you percentages and let it rip, because they couldn't fix making the shooting smooth. And now they're like, yeah, that's a good platform for a battle royale. Like
Yeah,
that's
now you shoot each
yeah.
other with those mechanics.
yeah. Yeah,
I was saying,
yeah,
then
exactly.
guess what mechanic
Exactly.
they didn't
No
bring
VATs for anyone.
over into their competitive multiplayer portion.
So
Sounds
yeah,
fun.
if you want just like the most unimpressive looking gunfights ever, like yeah, that's the game. That's it'll just be a bunch of people missing each other a whole lot. I'm assuming.
Yeah, when
if I had to guess.
95% of the people in the battle royale die to the ring of fire
circle.
instead of gunfire from other people.
Yeah, or like one person gets a fat man, and then that's like the instant win thing because
Right.
the area effect is so big that they just nuke everybody. But that was my
Yeah.
funny thing. I'm super hyped for Modern Warfare. They
Yeah.
didn't show very much info at E3, and honestly, I kind of like that they didn't, because honestly, everything that they've shown so far, I'm super hype about. All of the decisions that they've made. The new engine looks amazing. Like the footage that they've shown in that, even talking about how they want it to be like hyper realistic
Gut-wrenching.
as far as
Yeah.
making it super gritty. They've completely redone night vision to try to make it more legitimate, which obviously is super important for that type of a game. It's like everything that they're saying so far, I'm so excited for. I hope that they keep going that way and it doesn't all just burn up.
Do you think that them having their last affiliation with PlayStation has something to do with them being silent at E3 this last week?
Absolutely.
I think so too.
I'm hard pressed to think that doesn't. I mean, first off, I think that when you have a multi-platform game, especially like since they've talked about how they're going to be releasing this so you can play it cross-platform, so like Xbox and PlayStation 4, and if you play with a mouse and keyboard on Xbox, you'll be able to play with PC players if you choose to. Like, I think those things are really going to push the gaming industry forward and make it so the pool of players that can play against each other are as large as possible, which is only a good thing.
Right.
And I think the idea of doing like partnerships, like what they're doing right now with PlayStation, I think that those are just super archaic and we need to move past them. And I don't care how much money they're giving you. It's dumb to have that type of a system in place now or moving forward at least.
Right. And
I
how much
definitely
money
think that's why
is
they're
it
quiet.
worth to Sony for
how much?
1 week of
well,
exclusiveness?
I want to know what they paid. I genuinely do. Because
that's not, it can't be worth anything, really.
It's not
you get
like
it
how
a week early,
Destiny used
and you
to
get
be like
put
a year.
PlayStation on your commercials.
Yeah,
I guess.
And I think that's
I don't
awesome. One thing with Destiny 2 is like we're dropping, now that we're not owned by Activision, we're dropping
Right.
every type of exclusivity deal we had with PlayStation
Everybody.
or whatever.
Anybody.
It's
Right.
so refreshing. So you can really
It's-
tell the publishers are the ones that have all their hands in that type of stuff, and it's awful.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's never the devs. It's always the publishers that are making the calls in these
Yeah, right.
circumstances that are just bad. That are
Developers
just bad
want
calls.
you to play their game. They want everyone to play the same content at the same time, be talking about it at the same time. They're not benefiting at all. So I
right,
don't,
and they're the ones that get crapped on. That's why you watched 40 minutes of dev
We're
things
sorry,
in,
we
in
love you.
Bethesda's.
please
We're
stop
people.
throwing rocks at my house.
But Bethesda publishes their own game, so they have no excuse.
Yep, that's
They're
fair.
their own publisher.
Great. But yeah, Modern Warfare looks dope. Well, sounds like it's going to be dope. We haven't gotten
Super
a ton.
hype.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
that, so there was a section of the game that people got to play behind closed doors. I'm hoping we actually get some of that gameplay in the next couple weeks here, that like they'll let people, maybe like an embargo drop or something, and we'll start getting footage that people have been playing, because all I'm getting so far is just different news outlets and content creators that can just talk about it. They can't actually show us anything, but they were like clearing an apartment building or something, and apparently it's blowing people's minds how real it looks, and just how if you have a good set of headphones and you're playing that game like
Yeah.
right, it's sounds like it's pretty intense, and I'm super excited about that.
Like real-time decision making having consequence. So like one of the things that I saw a lot of people talking about with like that particular, when they're storming that apartment and it's in like Paris or wherever it is, that when you're going in there, it's the first person that you encounter is a woman and she's unarmed, and like depending on what you do there can have consequences. And so like if you don't shoot her, if you leave her be, and then you go kill her husband, who's somebody who actually is armed, that she'll like go and get a gun and come after you. And if you don't do that, you have the option where you can shoot her in the leg, and she reacts differently when you do that. And so just the idea that you can manipulate the outcomes and the things that happen based off the decisions that you make it's everything that I've heard so far is good stuff. I haven't heard anybody say anything negative so far. So hopefully that just continues and they don't absolutely destroy the multiplayer with stupid stuff. And if they do that, it'll be awesome. Could not be more hype.
This one will be basically like the old school Modern Warfare, just multiplayer and campaign, correct? There's no blackout, no zombies.
I know they said they weren't doing zombies. And I'm assuming, there's a co-op type of mission
campaign.
Or something, right?
Okay.
Kind of like the Spec Ops mode from Modern Warfare 2, where you could play single player, multiplayer, and then Spec Ops was a solo or co-op mode that you could play with your friends. I think they're sticking to that model, but they haven't really. I don't think they've given firm 100%. This is what it's going to be. Info on that
this
yet.
Is definitely one of the ones where it's
I think only single player, multiplayer.
The least amount of info is out, but I'm overhyped for the amount of info that isn't here yet. I guess they don't line up where I've seen so much that I deserve to be at this level of hype, but
don't blow it.
I'm definitely excited. Looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Can't wait.
For me, I think, and this might be on other people's lists, but this is an easy one. We finally saw some stuff on Avengers.
Yep.
It's nice that I don't understand why they put out that little teaser. I think it was literally 4 years ago or 5 years ago.
2013.
Was it 20?
Right.
Well, yeah, maybe not
No,
that far
I
back,
think they had just
but pretty far back.
The ink had not dried on the contract yet, and they're like, "Let's get something out saying we're making Avengers."
Ugh,
Get that hype
I
train
guess,
rolling
yeah.
early.
Yeah.
But then the weird thing is, all the years that followed that, they didn't put out weird CG trailers that didn't explain anything, or
right.
This is our 5th year in a row showing this Avengers game. They were kind of let's go quiet, and then we'll talk about it when we actually know when we're gonna hit some type of release date, which they did come out and say it's coming out in 2020. So there's that. I'm so hyped for a good Avengers game, though. If this ends up being good, like I said, we've seen literally nothing. This is another thing where I think I'm way too hyped for the amount of information I've gotten on it. But if this ends up being something like a live servicey kind of game like Destiny, where I can do superhero stuff and the content that's coming in is all going to be free, they said, but where I can have different Avengers come in, I can go to different locations that I've heard of and been to before, whether it's the cinematic universe or in the comics. If you love Marvel stuff, I think you're going to love this game, even if the characters kind of look off to me. Everyone just kind of we touched on it last week, but yeah, man, I can't wait to see some more about this. And I think the release date was before E3 next year.
Right. It's next spring, right? It was March or April.
Yeah. So it's not like we're going to get a big info dump at E3 next year. The game will be out by then. But I'll be interested to see what Square Enix puts out going forward. I'd like to see some actual gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. That's the mystery of E3. It was the show of trailers and cinematics with games coming out in months' time, and we haven't seen any gameplay.
Yeah, it's weird. But
May 15, 2020, which
there we go.
I do find it a little disconcerting that we still haven't seen any gameplay. And they're like, yeah, next year, though.
It's not that far away when it comes down to it.
Trust us. It'll be done.
We may hear something around the holiday season of a delay coming.
Yeah, this is a perfect date for us to delay it into holiday 2020.
Exactly.
It's not too far away.
I'm sure I heard on a podcast, I think it was Major Nelson's one, where he said E3, it used to take them, I think, 3 months to print the discs.
Right.
So theoretically, from their release date, it's going to take. They have to get the games loaded onto the disc. I know with digital, there's a little.
But
bit
we're
of
still in the
leeway,
physical age, somewhat. So.
Well, exactly.
Literally, the disc is just the key at this point.
Well, that's true. I mean, unless they're sticking a huge day one patch, which will really crucify half your fan base.
Let's be honest, that's kind of the.
That'll be there.
That's kind of the standard currently.
Yeah, that's what they do.
That's true.
They put a code that the that the internet can read that, okay, you have access to this game, so now you can download it, and that's pretty much all that's on the discs, and special features and crap
Right.
like that.
So yeah, I'll be even more excited, I think, once we see more. But it was cool finally getting to meet the cast, seeing who you're gonna play as. The voice actors they have lined up are incredible, and it's just, I don't know if they do this right. And they're saying
Right.
the right
Yeah.
things so far about
I'm
the free
excited
stuff
for-
and not pay to win,
Yeah.
no loot boxes, everything's free. We'll see. We'll see how this shakes out.
Right. I'm excited for the roadmap, because basically, there's got to be 100 Avengers.
Too
At
many
least.
to count.
And the stories, and there's the stories that involve them and enemies and all that stuff. And then if they run out, they can just start making stuff up, because
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
have to be canon to
And they
anything
talked
that
about that in some of the
Disney's
stuff.
doing right now.
I think IGN might have done like a 30-minute thing with the developers. And they were talking about this doesn't have to follow any of the storylines. Like, we're free to do whatever we want. I'm assuming you have to have probably run the stories by Disney or whatever. But yeah, they have a lot of creative freedom here, I think. Yeah.
Disney's got to sign off on it.
Otherwise, you could do some weird
assume.
stuff
Yeah.
Disney might not be a fan of.
I don't know. Have you played Kingdom Hearts?
Anything goes. Good point. All right. I don't even remember who started. Chocolate or Moose? One of you go.
Moose did.
Go, Moose, go.
Go ahead, Chocolate.
Somebody just give me a game to talk about.
Okay, I'm looking forward to something across the pond, in Chocolate's area. There, it's Watch Dogs Legion taking
Yes,
place in London.
definitely on my list.
That's actually the number one thing on my list, and I'm surprised that it's there. But I am stoked for this game to come out.
Looks so good.
Yeah,
Looks so good. Granny.
Granny.
The trailer was
it
excellent.
this morning.
Granny Born.
Granny
Born.
It was something
Jason's
Granny.
grandma.
Yeah, it was-
Granny Born.
Oh, it's hilarious.
This was one of the few
yeah,
ones
I'm-
where it was like, yay,
Yeah.
here's a bunch of gameplay, here's a release date. I hope you guys are pumped to play it. It was like, all right,
Yeah,
this is
look at
every
these new game mechanics.
Yeah.
Look at the way, this is completely different than our two last Watch Dogs games.
It was one of the only games where they nailed every little thing they needed to be talking about. Like,
Right.
so I'm pumped. I'm real excited to see how this whole you can play as anyone and everyone has a little like intro story to see what their intentions are and their motives. And
Yeah, I want to be a
Yeah.
baby agent.
I want to do two things. I want to really push down deep into that and see just how many people I can get killed
who you
and,
can
and
recruit.
how many are still halfway decent before you start to really get to the B team. Number one.
I'm a
Like in
janitor.
multiplicity.
Yeah.
How many times can you clone yourself before the quality starts to affect it?
And number two, I want to see if you can play the game and not have anybody die. If you can get through everything and like recruit a team and everybody makes it, or if they make it so like that's genuinely not a thing.
with everyone seeming like
I'm a weird 100%er like that.
no one on my crew is going to die.
Yeah, that's not going to happen in my
That's
game.
how I try to play the XCOM games, and that's why I don't play the XCOM games.
Me too.
Something's
I
gonna
think
get
that's why I don't play them, because somebody dies and I'm like, well, that's stupid, and I turn it off.
But I'm assuming that there'll be story beats that are just going to kind of get somebody killed, whether or not you want that to happen, just because they're giving you this huge amount of people that you can recruit. So
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're just going to kill that guy
But
off.
it's-
Sorry.
Right.
We'll see.
And it's
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's
definitely.
Ubisoft,
I'm
so the
curious
side
to know.
story's got to be good, right?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for something to top the Testicle Festival from Far Cry 5.
What in the world could possibly top that, Moose?
I don't know, but something will. I know it.
What a game. Yeah, Legion looks dope.
I was going to say that trailer they showed with you saving the drone expert, it seemed like it was kind of instilled in the story that you had to recruit him, so you would lose whichever character you had
Right.
to save him.
Yeah.
It seemed like that was a
But
necessity.
that's the question,
to
right?
happen.
Like, if you utilized cover properly there, did that guy have to die? Like,
Sure.
Oh, yeah,
Or-
yeah,
or
of
if
course.
you-
Right. And
Or if you just got away more efficiently. If you just
then
hid better.
Or what if you shot the drone guy that you were trying to recruit? Like, can you find another drone person down the road somewhere? Was there only one drone
Right, and
guy
how
in
does
all
that
of London?
affect your story arc? If you lose one of the main characters at the beginning of the game, does that completely change the story throughout the game, or is it just plug and play with anybody?
Yeah.
They showed us
So
so
many
much,
questions.
they showed so much, and I still have
Right.
so many questions. But yeah, that does look good. Pumped.
Is that coming out this fall?
I wish I wrote release dates down, but I have
I
no
know.
idea.
I can look it up real quick.
Chocolate. What game are we talking about next? He muted himself. I probably should have went with someone else. My bad.
Yeah, I was,
There he is.
no, I was typing just to try and find Watch Dogs. So, Blair Witch,
Oh, okay.
believe it or not.
Right up Moose's
Yeah,
alley.
that was
Um,
interesting.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I
March 6th,
I
by the
do
way,
like-
chocolate.
March 6th. Well done. Good catch. Yeah, Blair Witch just seemed. I do like watching scary films. I mean, I do occasionally have to change my underwear while watching
Wait,
them.
is that a real thing?
What, changing my underwear?
No.
Yeah, I do it occasionally.
Like you poop your pants and you watch scary movies?
No, I do get scared. So yeah, it does. It really looks intriguing to me, and I just want to see what happens. I want to see if it's got a good storyline, if it's got a good mechanic to the game, or is it really just a hot pile of poop?
I bet
they're
you it's
trying to
better
push.
than the original Blair Witch movie, if I had to guess.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, it's got to be.
Well,
Um,
here,
but
in,
yeah,
in
that-
all fairness, the original Blair Witch film was super unique at the time.
The
and
first
for
found
something
footage
that was so low budget.
movie. Yeah,
Yeah, they defined a genre that
That's
has
true.
gone on to have other films made in it.
Cloverfield.
And
Yeah, the IRL type capturing.
yeah, exactly.
That's fair. Fine.
That's pretty good.
Give him some
I
credit,
just
I
I
guess.
just liked watching that trailer and having that moment where it's like panning out and then you see the symbol and it's like, is that the Blair Witch symbol? Is this a Blair Witch game?
It's like a crop circle of the Blair Witch
It
symbol.
was actually kind of a letdown because when they first started that and the dude's going through the woods with the flashlight, it was like, Alan Wake 2? Question mark? Is this really happening?
Yeah.
That's what I thought as well.
I
And
got
then
that.
it was like, oh, Blair Witch. All right. Well, I guess we'll see.
Oh,
But yeah, we'll see, huh?
I think it'll be good. Touch wood.
Yep. You guys really need to figure out how you say things over there. That's just touch wood.
Yeah, didn't you guys invent this language we speak and
Jeez.
we just do it so much better now?
Yeah,
It's knock on wood,
but
you
we
weirdo.
didn't-
What is
No, it's
touching it
touch
doing?
wood.
If I'm not
That's why we left.
Yeah,
Say
you
weird
say
shit
touch
like
wood
that.
over here and you might get hit in the face.
touch wood. No.
just go get a rabbit's
There you
foot.
go.
or something. Go on, continue.
potato. What else can I throw out there? Star Wars Fallen Order finally seen some gameplay. Anyone pumped
Yep,
for that?
That looks good.
Oh,
It looks hard,
Good
though.
Lord.
It's not going to be an easy game.
good.
I don't want it to be.
Yeah.
I hope it's challenging.
If I'm going from Padawan
I want
to
there to be a
Jedi
skill curve.
Master eventually, I wanna learn it all. Because that was one thing when they were going through the gameplay. It was like, so does this stuff all kind of like happen? Like if I pull a guy towards me, does he just go in front of his own bullet? It's like, no, everything that you're seeing from pull this guy here, move this guy over here so the bullet hits him, or pull him towards you and then use your lightsaber to kill him, or just like every single thing seems like it is a different button to make like combos happen. It looks real good.
It looked so fluid
Yeah.
though, didn't it? The kind of when he did the stop the time, and then I think almost within the next few seconds he kind of lightsabered a stormtrooper in half, and then did something. It was just
Dude,
the
when
action
he froze,
was unreal. It was like hit.
yeah, when he froze that like I don't know what you'd call it, like a laser bolt, like the little plasma
Yeah, he,
bolt.
like, froze
when
time.
he froze that and then
Yeah.
grabbed the guy and put him in front of it and then
His
shot him
own
with
bolt.
his own round. Like
That was awesome.
when that happened, I was like, oh my god.
I don't need to see anything else.
Savagery.
You've sold me. I'm good. You show me adorable
But-
BD1 and then
Please
that.
take my money.
Yeah, take it.
So the game looks like it's just like a single player narrative on rails type experience, but from what
Definitely
I heard
sold.
post E3, it's not. You have a ship that you can travel through the galaxy and travel from planet to planet at will. Like it's a lot bigger and more open than you think it is from people that have been playing the demo.
So maybe it's like a Andromeda type experience.
Yeah, right.
Right, yeah, I was going to say Mass Effect.
Which I'm 100% down
But
with.
lightsabers. Yep.
Yeah, with proper facial animations at launch.
Hopefully. What we've seen. Looks good so far.
I don't know. They may have Jar Jar in there somewhere. So.
The developers, I think what sells me the most about this game right now is when you listen to the devs talk about it, they're like so excited
The amount
about
of passion, yeah.
Yeah, like you can tell that they are so committed to trying to make sure that this is like the most authentic Star Wars experience that they can create, where you're playing as a Jedi and having your own unique story. And it's canon, right? It's
Yeah.
like
Yep.
Yeah, I think
they've
it
gone
is.
as far as to. So I mean, if that isn't telling in its own, I think that's super impressive that they've got the green light for that for the universe.
It's
so.
like, so they have to worry about that, but then they also have to worry about that they were purchased by EA, and like when you think of EA and you think of their Star Wars games so far, it's not great. So when people see like, oh, cool, they're
Right.
making a Star Wars game. Oh, it's being published
Eye
by
roll.
EA. Yikes! Probably not going to play that. So they really have to come out swinging and just show this awesome gameplay like they did at the E3. Like it's, yeah, man. It's
I
good
feel
for
like
them.
They killed it.
It
was
looks
super
so
good.
good. Word. All right. Who else has got a game? Throw it out there.
I got a game.
Yeah. what up?
Go ahead, Dan.
I watched the Outer Worlds trailer, which I'm
Yes.
just super excited for the Outer Worlds. I'm super excited for
Game Pass,
the
too.
development team. Yeah, right.
Free.
The
Ish.
dev team behind behind New
Monthly
Vegas.
subs don't cost money, Risky. That goes on the magic card that nobody looks at the bill.
Like I feel like the single player experience and like the fleshed out narratives in New Vegas are so good, and I'm just so excited to play a game from the same team, and even from like what they've shown in their trailers so far, and like that you can just be whoever you want to be. If you want to be like
Kill
the super
everyone.
good guy, great. Like it's in the most recent trailer especially, where they're like you can just be the biggest in the galaxy and it's fine. Like did you guys watch the Outer Worlds trailer? The
Yeah.
E3 trailer from this year?
Yep.
Where the dude is like, "Oh yeah, here you can have this gun. I'm wounded. I probably won't need it." And then they just shoot him in the
kill
face
him, yeah.
after he gives you the gun.
That was like,
Like
You were doing him a favor.
putting him out of his misery.
That's right.
Need to loot that body. You need to get those caps.
Yeah.
Those caps. Uh
I hope they put caps in.
oh. I hope they don't. You also hope there's VATS in
Nuka-Cola.
there. Like, come on. Yeah, that game looks awesome though. And Game Pass, like, man,
Yeah.
buy more studios.
Good job, Microsoft.
Keep doing it.
Buy them all.
Buy them
Just
all, so
buy
I never
all
have
of
to
them.
pay for another game. All right, give me another one.
I know if I have to keep listening to how good Spider-Man is, I'm just gonna have to kill myself. Let's go, Microsoft. Let's get some stuff done.
They didn't show us much, but it was just about a 10 or 20 second clip of Breath of the Wild 2. Stoked. It looks like it's a darker tale.
Enough to get you hyped for sure. Like Zelda fans, I think
Well,
went nuts over that.
I'm surprised
like,
it took
30
so long
seconds.
for somebody to say this one.
Right?
I figured this would be like right up front, especially for you, Moose.
It's number 2 on the list for me.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, but yeah, I'm stoked for it. It is maybe motivating me to go get the cartridge out of my travel case and put it in my Switch and play some Breath of the Wild.
That's
Maybe.
the best part about E3 is when you get all these sequels and like third games. You're like, oh man, I still need to
Right.
beat XYZ before that game comes out. So now I have a
Exactly.
hey. Yeah.
But it's just more Zelda. Looks like it's a little bit more grown-up Zelda. Could be scarier, darker stuff.
I'm all about dark, gritty Zelda.
That's right. Get that princess dirty, right,
Oh
Zach?
boy! All right, moving on. The Final Fantasy VII remake. We finally saw some gameplay of that. If you didn't play it before, maybe it doesn't. I mean, I did this whole spiel last week, Moose, because you said, yeah, I didn't play it, but I'm still pumped for it because it looks awesome. And I think that's exactly what they did. They changed the combat and made everyone look 1,000 times better than that weird, awkward transition to 3D graphics that was the PlayStation 1. So,
right.
Yeah, I don't.
And one of your party members has a chain gun for an arm, so.
Barrett's the man.
What else do you need?
Yeah, you don't need anything else. It was just nice finally seeing what this game's going to be and then hearing how huge it's still going to be, which is probably actually really a bad thing for me because there's no way I'll get all the way through this, but still excited either way.
Yeah, it looks cool. I'll get it for sure.
All right. Give me another one. Are we running out? Yeah, shut up, Dan.
I got one more on my list. It's Halo Infinite. I'm excited because it just feels
nothing on.
Go ahead. I know, but it just I think that
I'm still
Halo
excited.
games is like what Microsoft puts. That's the face of their franchise basically. So they put all the time and care and effort into the Halo games, and I just the writing in them, the cinematics, all the stuff in Halo, it always holds up. I know people didn't like that you didn't get to be Master Chief in Halo 5, but come on, snowflakes, get over yourself. People can't live forever.
God. Yeah, I agree.
It's the Chief. Yes, he
Right.
can.
Chief.
And the Chief is back. He just put more.
I bet you play the Chief this whole entire game.
I bet you do too.
Yeah, I bet they learned their lesson.
I bet you they sure
that's what you're
did.
trying to say.
Did you guys go back to the trailer and see whether you noticed the difference in the guy who found you?
Oh, to see if it was
and
the
whether it was-
gameplay heads-up display or not.
Yeah.
I did not.
Oh,
No, I expected
okay.
you to send me a link or something. Sorry.
Right.
I expect
Yeah.
too much.
Okay, I'll do that. You do.
Send it now.
I'll
Thank
send
you.
that
Obviously your
today.
fault.
Definitely my fault.
Chocolate, wait till you get off work tomorrow. I know it's going to be a long day for you, so
Yeah, even
don't stay up any later than you have to.
Oh,
even though we
thanks.
have like
It won't take
minimal
long.
info on Infinite so far, just the things that we do know, and it definitely seems like they're building the game as they're building Project Scarlet, and it
Right.
definitely seems like it's a priority that they're going to use it as like
Yeah, it's
the
a
launch
showpiece.
title of like, look at what this can do, and that's
Exactly.
so I'm pretty pumped for that. I think it'll be.
Yeah.
I think it'll be.
That's
good.
what I think. It's just like it's Microsoft's look what we can do.
Well, what's crazy
Yeah.
is you got that trailer that was just like a CG trailer, but what if that's totally not a CG trailer and everything just looks that good? That could very well be
That'd
what
be
we were
so
looking
awesome.
right?
Yeah.
You're also forgetting it's going to be launching straight away into Game Pass
Oh,
and the
good
PC
God.
as well, so
Yes.
it needs to be top.
Oh yeah, because
tier
those
stuff
PC
so they can
players are
push.
snobby.
They sure are. I want 60 frames per second in all my game. You can't deliver that.
Throw that
Go
shade.
home.
Throw it everywhere.
Trying to play Destiny at 30 frames per second right
Yeah.
now. It's
Like when they were
Ew,
talking about the
that's
Scarlet, and they were
gross.
talking about frame rates we'd never seen, and then she followed that up with 120 frames a second, and just all the PC players just audibly laughed at that
Snickered at themselves.
because that's a ridiculous statement.
Noses are turned up.
8K, 120 frames per second. And this guy's like, I've got a $5,000 PC and I can't do that. How are you gonna do it and sell it to
Yeah.
normal people for $600?
500, I think, is what they said.
They
right?
didn't actually say a price point. There's no
Oh,
way.
I don't
did they
know.
not?
Did they say price
Okay.
point?
I don't think there's any way that thing comes out at 500. A 600, I think, is a good bet, especially if they have the like $300 cheaper model.
Right.
Yeah.
120 frames per second, even if it's at 1080, this thing's still going to cost a bunch.
Right.
Well-
I think they'll do what 150 for the all digital, probably 400 for the X, and then 600 for the Scarlet.
Yeah,
I bet the all digital will be more expensive than that, but I think probably 4 and 6 is a reasonable
Yeah, maybe
guess for the other two.
246.
And I just found it interesting when they were talking about Scarlet that it seemed like I work in sales and marketing, and it just seemed like a lot of marketing terms and not a lot of real info when they were talking about it. And so they were like, the only thing that I felt like really gave me an idea of what we were expecting is that they said it was going to be 4 times more powerful. And that's really the only firm number
Right.
that they provided for anything. Otherwise, they were like
And
8K
they said
and
that it
120
was
FPS.
32 times faster as well, right?
Teraflops.
Yeah, for load times, I think. So they meant
Right.
like, cool, you're gonna put an SSD in it. Thanks. Like that's all you needed
That's
to
what we
say.
should have been doing with the One X, probably.
Yeah, if you have an
Maybe I
SSD hooked
understood
up
it.
to your One X, you're doing the same
Maybe I
thing.
understood it incorrectly, but I thought they had a SSD as like the processing unit, or
Oh, yeah, they're doing some weird thing where
With the
they're.
RAM.
It
Yeah.
was the RAM. That's what it was.
yeah,
It was
that's
the
right.
memory, not the
yeah,
storage.
they're using the SSD for the RAM, and that's what was making everything faster. Correct?
Yeah, well, in other news, like PC news, there's new processors that are coming out next year that are just gonna, I mean, I think it's a 16 core processor that's going to be able to be overclocked pretty high. So I
Right.
think we're at the point where we're seeing a little bit of a jump in that tech, and so I think part of that is that obviously whatever's going to come in the consoles is going to mirror some of those changes. Yeah, so that's pretty much what it is. We'll see when more actual information comes out about that.
Next E3 with a holiday 2020 launch. So
Yeah.
yeah, they didn't even need to say anything. They could have just been like, "Hey, we're working on this. Hope you're excited.
Right.
Tune in next year." And here's another 10 minutes of video games. Perfect. All right, the last one I had to talk about was, and again, this is another thing like Avengers and Halo Infinite, where there's not a lot to see or talk about here, but Ghostwire Tokyo, that game where they showed the cinematic trailer of all the people disappearing, like they get Thanos snapped out of existence, and then weird Hawkeye shows up, or whatever man has a bow and a hood, just like Hawkeye from Avengers shows up. I think it's exciting to. I'm excited to learn what's happening there. And it sounds like you're playing as someone who's trying to figure out what happened. The story just seems like it's going to be great, because that's really all we have to go off of is just that cinematic. I have no idea what gameplay is going to be like. I'm assuming it's just like a action adventure-y third-person type of game. But
Theme of E3.
Yeah.
Don't know what the gameplay's like.
love that cinematic though. So, and just the premise of it, the whole where'd everybody go? Time to figure it out. I'm into it. What else we got?
Well, I think that
Agreed.
that wraps up E3, right?
Everybody good? Nothing else stuck out? I wish they
good.
talked more about
Breakpoint.
xCloud. Breakpoint. Well, see, the thing with Breakpoint,
Ghost
like
Recon.
that was the reason that Cyberpunk wasn't on here for me, is because I feel like I didn't really learn anything new besides Keanu. And then with
Yeah,
Breakpoint,
agreed.
they had just had their whole
They had like
this
a direct,
is
basically.
Breakpoint conference thing beforehand.
Yeah.
Did they really show that much more? Like John Bernthal came out and he had a dog on the stage for some reason, and just kind of like, "Hey,
Right?
this is coming, and we're here because we're a Ubisoft game, and we have to be." So yeah, but yeah,
He looked like a really nice guy on that stage. I was like, that's...
You need to be
what's his name?
angry.
Yeah, what's his name in Walking Dead? He
Shane.
looked nothing like a tough
Shane.
guy. Yeah, Shane.
what a jerk.
He didn't...
Putting
he
it
looked like
nicely.
such a nice guy up there.
Yeah.
I was like,
Right.
that's not
Well, when
the
you
same
bring up
dude.
your
Don't
dog
pretend
on
you're nice.
stage, you're not trying to be a bad guy. Like,
Right.
I didn't get
dude,
that.
the
Why
dog
bring his
literally
dog
didn't
out?
do anything. I have no idea,
Oh,
Chocolate.
You
Doggy
know
daycare
that
was full.
he was just like, listen, I'm going to bring my dog.
Otherwise, I'm not going.
So, I'm just going to bring my dog. And they
It's
were
his
like,
emotional support
Yeah,
animal.
dog sitter.
100%. Yeah. Hey.
I'm allergic to dogs, but yeah, it's fine.
All right. Well, before we take off, let's quickly go through some new games coming out this week, and a few other things. Moose, you can go through that though. What do we got?
Okay. New games coming out this week. We got Citizens of Space coming out on the 18th on all platforms. No idea. Look it up if you
All
don't
right.
know. Crash Team Racing coming out on the
CTR.
21st. That game looks sweet, but I'm probably could wait for a sale.
Yep.
Sims 4 Island Living Expansion. I've already got my pre-order in, so we're good there.
Nice.
But you can ride jet skis, so if you're into that, there's better games, but Sims has
And
it
it's
now.
Sims. You don't even get to ride him. You just get to watch a dude
I
riding
know.
around. Like, come on.
And he doesn't even take it out at, over to breaking the wake.
pinnacle of gaming.
And then, let's see, we got Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. This is that game that's basically
Castlevania.
Castlevania. that they did a Kickstarter for, and finally it's being released. So it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks good.
It'll be on sale soon. And I think Risky may be picking this one up. My Friend Pedro comes out on PC and Switch this week.
Oh, that game looks so good.
The game, it looks so weird. It's like a freestyle parkour murder spree, basically.
Yeah. Gives you that slow down bullet time. You just murder people however you want. Just how I like it.
Right. And then if you...
Yes,
On the
sir.
Switch,
Yes,
you
sir.
Yeah, what an odd
then,
release combo.
PC Switch.
PC
Yep.
on the Switch.
Definitely weird.
If you hadn't looked at Game Pass since E3, there's a huge list. I'll try to go through them as quickly as possible. We got Astroneer, Batman, Arkham Knight, Battle Chasers, Night War, Borderlands, The Handsome Collection, Bridge Constructor, Portal. I think that's Portal Bridge Constructor. Everspace, Guacamelee 2, Hollow Knight, Licked Spear, Double Spear Edition, Metal Slug X, Metro Exodus, Mamadora, Reverie Under Moonlight, Moonlighter, Neon Chrome, Old Man's Journey, Riptide GP, Renegade, River Bond, it's available now, Shadow Tactics, Blades of the Shogun, Shenmue 1 and 2, Cabo, looking at you, buddy, Silence, The Widespread World, Smoke and Sacrifice, Whispered World, SteamWorld Dig 2, Risky,
Oh,
I
it's
think
so
recommends
good.
that
Yep.
one.
Do it.
Supermarket Shriek, which I am intrigued with, Thimbleweed Park, The Turing Test, and Wizard of Legend. So all those dropped during their E3 presentation.
A lot of good games in there, too.
And then Games with Gold, Earth Defense Force 2017 releases on the 16th. So if you haven't picked that up, go get it now. Handsome Collection and Sonic Mania are the PlayStation Plus games this month. And Nintendo Online has some new games. Risky, Double Dragon 2, The Revenge.
Best NES game ever. Count it.
Volleyball, and City Connection. And that pretty much wraps up games out this week.
Nice. All right, let's plug this thing up. For pretty much everything, you can head on over to crossatlanticgaming.com. It has links to Discord, links to Patreon, all of those things. Speaking of Patreon, though, I would like to shout out our top-tier contributor, and that is Chaotic. So thank you, Chaotic.
Hey.
If you want to be like Chaotic,
Thanks, buddy.
you can head on over to patreon.com/CAG podcast. Become legend. That's trademarked, right? Somebody became legend.
You're so amazing.
Can we steal it?
Pirate Legend?
I don't know. Sure.
I am
Yep.
legend.
If you want to find me, I am at Risky the Kid everywhere. Chocolate, how about you?
I'm Chocolate Bear 80
Moose.
everywhere.
Moosenstein 8314 everywhere.
And Dan.
Don't find me.
All right. Easy
Nah, I'm
enough.
just kidding.
I'll
DANPOD
find you.
131 on Xbox. That's the only place you'll find me.
All right. I like it. All right. Well, hey. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all-new episode. Goodbye.
Peace.
See you.
Later.
All right, Chocolate. What did you bring this week? Or if you just want to do all of them, I've heard you've got some gems, so that's all you if you want it. Don't let us down. All right.
I brought
let's
the
go.
hot sauce.
Let's hear it.
Why do we tell actors to break a leg?
Why?
Because every play has a cast.
Oh, all right. That's pretty bad. I like it.
Oh, boy, this is happening.
You know?
Yep.
Yesterday I saw a guy spill all his Scrabble letters onto the road. I asked him what the word on the street was.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Hey, 2 for 2. I'll take
So
both
did you
these so
guys-
far.
Did you guys hear I thought about quitting my job? Thinking about cleaning mirrors. It's a job I could really see myself doing.
Oh, God. Cringy.
All right, this one's better. What do you got if you got 10 hands or 10 oranges in one hand and 12 apples in another?
Big fucking hands.
Exactly. You nailed it, Chocolate.